Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by the channel for another Screwy Tuesday. I hope you'll enjoy this. It's really for your entertainment. As the title says, I'm not on my knees. So this is a video of me working on my horizontal bandsaw, and I'm too old to get down on the ground. So hope you enjoy it. It's a little entertainment, and I'm getting something done around here. Thanks for stopping by the channel. I've always appreciated it, and we'll catch you real soon. Well, again. It's almost spring cleaning day, and let's take a little walk. So we're heading back into the machine room, and a little shot down here. That's where we're going. My bandsaw's back in there, and I need to pull it out through this narrow path here. We'll pick it up back at the bandsaw. Well, it's maintenance day. I've been putting this off for so long. It's my horizontal bandsaw, and it's a little tight in here, but I'm going to see if I can get you a little shot. As you can see, it's quite filthy. You can see it drops coolant on the concrete there, and it's really time to service the coolant chamber and just do a general cleanup. And as I was looking at it here, I noticed in the back that it appears a pin is coming out right there. So I'm going to move it out into the main shop, and we'll start getting it cleaned up. Well, it's starting. Got the pads out of the way. Time to do some sweep and clean first. The bandsaw is out of the machine room, and I need to remove the coolant box here to service it. And the heck if I'm going to get down on the ground and lay on the ground and do that like I've done once before. So I'm trying to work smarter and not harder here. I'll grab the camera here. We'll do a quick walk around how filthy it is, and then I will get to work on starting to do some service on this unit. So it's a Dayton. I forget the if it's a 7 or an 8 inch. It's got an automatic switch there to shut it off. It's a 208 or 220 volt machine. Also the pigtail, it picks up 110 for the coolant pump. And you can see the amount of filings and things in here, which I have cleaned it a few times. We'll go to the other side of the rack. And there's the backside, the hydraulic ram, and this pin that looks like it's coming out will service that. Oh, there it is right there. It's a 7x12 Dayton. 1987 is the date code on the machine. I bought it used, and I've been real happy with it. And you can see that I've used the diamide clamps to secure the saw to the rack, so it's nice and safe. It's not going to go anywhere. Not going to pull a Brian, I hope. Okay, well, I'm going to get to cleaning. Okay, let's get started cleaning this little Blue Hands video. My buddy Mike Klotz. If you guys don't watch Blue Hands video, stop in and see Mike. He's a great friend, great guy. Well, what do you think? Think I've been using the saw? Seems to be some load on this tray. Why? Hey, tray's out. I must have had fun doing this on the ground last time. Ah, I see. There's a tray behind. Let me go over there, see what that is. I'll take it all together. Okay. All right, there's the coolant box. And let me give you a little close-up here. I'm going to stop the camera, clean my hands for a second. We'll get down in there. So inside the coolant box here, there was a hole right here where the coolant drops in, and then there's a weir here to collect the shavings and things, attempting not to go down into the pump. So get all this out. You can see my coolant is shit brown. It's ugly. So we'll get all that cleaned up and start servicing this machine. Okay, memory's coming back. Yeah, the tray has to come off. This is just sitting here, and you can't take this out unless you take the tray off. So anyway, what's left over in here is going into the oil recycle tank here. Hope you guys can see that beautiful color. Ease. That's putrid. Oh, there went something. Well, see the sludge down in there, so I'll get this guy all cleaned up. Now, why it's off, I am definitely thinking about putting welding a plug in here where I could drain the coolant and service the coolant much simpler than doing all this, and service it more often rather than every couple of years. So let me get back to cleaning. Well, I got the coolant storage tank clean and drilled a hole in the bottom of the tank where the pump is. Made a little block, threaded it for pipe, and going to put this on here, and I'm going to have a drain plug here or a ball cock so that I can drain this without having to pull it all apart. So need to get it all cleaned up and get it welded on there. Well, I got my plate welded on and doing a water test, and so far no leaks. Well, I don't know if you can see this or not, but you can see all the coolant that has dripped down the back of the saw, and I was messing around with making a piece here to catch it, but as I kept looking at the saw here, and I just really have to be happy that it's up in the air, I'm standing up looking at this, there's these two bolts, and I kept looking at those. What was that for? Well, you can see down in here there's another cover, and that cover is missing, and that cover catches the coolant that's in this trough where the blade runs, catches it, and then it would take it down to the drain pan. So I need to make something in here to replace what was missing. I don't know what it is, but I'll figure something out. While I'm back here with the camera, I think I showed you that pin. Well, I turned the pin around, put a cotter pin in it. That would have been a tragic accident had that pin fell out when the saw was up in the air. The saw would have crashed, would have come down, could have got me, could have hurt me. So glad I'm servicing the unit, and this issue will be solved. There shouldn't ever be a problem with that. Well, I need to make a panel here. I don't know if you can see it, but there is an ear sticking up here. So I have to have a panel that has a 90-degree return up with a slot for the panel. It will come across, turn, and come up here and go underneath these two screws or bolts. And then the panel coming this way, there's this radius hub here that the saw pivots on. It's got to jog around that also. And this should prevent the amount of coolant when the saw is up in this position dripping down the back onto the ground. So need a interesting piece to build. See if I can do it. A little chicken scratch there of all my dimensions, and start off with a blank part and see what I get. I wish I had some decent cardboard. I'd make it out of cardboard first and see if I can get me a template. I'm going to look and see if I can't find a good piece of cardboard and make it from that first. Bring you back. Here's just a little shot of the fit up so far. I think I got a good fit right there. Got to extend this line down, and I need to extend over here. so I can get this up in there. And my back piece here is just nice. Bring you back. Well, I got the cover made. Fits in there real nice and tight. We've got the piece slit here so the seams line up. Got a nice the radius. Take it back out, glass bead it, paint it, and then just clean up this edge a little bit. But all in all, it was a fun little build, and it fits really good. This gap here is bothering me, but it's basically no different than what's over here. This should have had a return to come up onto here, but I missed that. Well, now on to cleaning. Well, it's the next day. I left the saw up in the upright position, and it worked out. As I mentioned, I think I mentioned it in the previous video, there's a trough here where the blade rides, and there's all sorts of filings in there still that I got to clean. But when the saw is in this position, any of the drippings off the blade get in this trough, and I was worried that this right here would end up peeing the fluid out, and that's what it's doing. So I'm glad I let it sit overnight and figured it out. So what I plan on doing is dimpling the sheet metal here so that I can weld in a little piece that'll catch this trough. And I think that's going to solve this little leak problem. So it worked out well that I did get to catch this and hopefully prevent any more leakage beyond the saw. We'll bring you back probably. Well, I said I'd bring you back. As you can see, I haven't cleaned anything yet. One of the other upgrades or additions I'm looking at doing to the saw here is on this trough that catches everything from here. I'm looking at making a piece that'll either be hinged or drop on to act as a secondary shield. Get a lot of splash out that comes out beyond the actual drippings of the trough. Of course, dependent upon how much coolant's running. So I think the way it is right now, I think I'm going to conclude the video. You guys don't need to see it. Maybe in a second video, maybe there'll be a part 2, but you've seen enough. And of course, you don't need to watch me clean my saw, right? So, hey, thanks for stopping by the channel. I hope you found it enjoyable. That's what it's all about. I'm out in the shop here enjoying myself, doing a little build, a little improvement to a tool, and enjoy sharing it with my viewers. All right, take care.